The Wide Awake Club, yes, yes. Mic check, it's been a few weeks. In fact, I might have a bit of an echo, let me turn it around a bit. Alright, cheers Chris. Any better now? Well, mind you, the music's loud though, innit? Well, the music's loud. We'll see. We'll see how we go in a minute. Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is Friday Practice 1 ahead of the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then please do get yourself subscribed because I'm live for every single qualifying and every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. And it's been a bit of a 3-week break. It's been a bit of a long one. In fact, this break between Monza and Singapore has felt longer than summer break. Obviously with the Russian Grand Prix on a full delete with what's going on over there. So yeah, they've had a bit of a 3-week break, but we're back. Singapore, first Singapore Grand Prix for I think 3 years due to COVID and one thing and another. So yeah, there's not been a Singapore Grand Prix for let's say since 2019. So well up for it. The most physically demanding race, one of the most exciting races. Night race. This was the original night race that was introduced in 2008. You know, this set a trend for like modern venues. This set the bar for modern venues, to be fair. Let me turn the music down a bit. I do rate this music though. I do love this music, but yeah, we'll turn it on. Yeah. But yeah, we're back. You know, it has been a while. But yeah, what I'm going to do just before practice starts, practice 1 will start in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes ish. So I'll just go through a rundown of the teams, just to catch up on what everyone's results has been throughout the season so far. Obviously, this is I think this is round 17 of 22. 6 races to go. So I think we've got Singapore, Japan. Then I think you've got like US, Mexico, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. I think like it might be Mexico, US or US, Mexico. I'm not quite sure which way around that is, but yeah, Singapore's six to go. Max Verstappen can win the World Championship this weekend, but he probably won't. He'll probably roll over to Japan and he'll probably win it in Japan next weekend. I think if Verstappen wins this weekend and Leclerc's outside the top 9. So basically, if Verstappen wins, Leclerc has an absolute disaster and doesn't finish the race, or is like outside the points. And then Perez is like outside the top 5. Verstappen's world champion. So it takes a few like permutations for Verstappen to be world champion this weekend. More than likely it'll roll over to Japan, and then probably in Japan he probably just got a win in Japan and he'll win it sort of thing. It'll be more simple for him to win the championship next weekend in Japan if it all goes smoothly this weekend. But yeah, he's on five wins in a row. Verstappen is on an absolute rampage, and he's going to walk away with this title 5-6 races from the end, which is mad considering last season it went right down to the wire. And when I say to the wire, it went down to the final corner of the final lap of the final race last season. So we're not going to quite get that this season, but there should be some other battles anyway to watch. And hopefully 6 good races. Hopefully we've got 5 or 6 good races coming up. Oh yeah, they're on Sky. They're just confirming about the 2023 calendar. That has been confirmed. There's been a bit of news over this 3-week break. But yeah, welcome in Chris anyway. Ryan Tune, welcome to the stream. And Kim's here as well. Hope you're feeling well. Yeah, I'm alright. I've not had that much sleep. So I'll probably... But I'm doing all right there, Kim. I'm doing all right. My sleeping pattern's a bit messed up, but I'll be doing all right there, Kim. But yeah, in between Monza and this race, have confirmed a 24 race calendar for next season. So another 2 races. I think that's because China's coming back. There's not been a Chinese Grand Prix for like 3-4 years. So obviously with COVID, that was like the epicenter of it, so that got cancelled straight away, like 2-3 years ago. So yeah, China's coming back next year, and then we've got Las Vegas coming back. I mean, Las Vegas is a new addition to the calendar, but then I don't know. I think there's someone misses out because you've also got I don't know if. Yeah, but anyway, we've got 24 race calendar next season, which has got to be the limit. But they said that at 20 races. They said when it got to a 20 race season, they said right, that's the limit, that's the cap. And then it was 21 races in a season. Then it got to 22, and they went right, 22 absolute maximum, no more races, that's enough. Next year, 24 races, but I think that now, surely, that has to be the limit. 24's too many. When I started watching Formula 1, like 15 years ago, like 2006, 2007-ish, there was like 17 races. It was a 17, 18 race calendar at a push, 17, 18 races. It's probably about right, to be fair. 20, I reckon, is the right number. I think 20 races is enough. I think when you start getting into like 22, 23, I think it's just pushing. It's like you don't want to oversaturate. You don't want to race every single weekend. Like there's a balance, because obviously you've got the commercial side to make money. They want to be racing every single weekend, but for the staff and the crew and everyone that's involved in it, and the logistics side and everything, like a different race venue every single weekend is just not viable. So I think 24 is really pushing it. But yeah, we've obviously got a 22 race calendar this year. It would have been a 23 race season this year, but Russia with the big delete. So, 22 races it's ended up, but 24 next year is brutal. Yes, Gav, welcome to the stream. £5 right now, and what? Well, you better fiver on. That'll be back for practice 2 later. Right, let's do a quick little rundown. 20 minutes to go before FP1. Right, let's go to... I hope the music's not too loud, it shouldn't be. Right, we'll go on to team by team. Oh, by the way, this is the schedule for this weekend. So, obviously, we're on now. This is the preview ahead of FP1. All right, Lee, how are we doing? It'll go to 25. I know, they might round it up to that, might they? Because they're saying 24 is the absolute limit. And then next season, bang, 25. Yeah, probably 25 will, but it's too many. That it should 20's enough. 20, and I love it. I live for this sport. Like I absolutely eat, breathe, and sleep and live Formula 1. But 20 races isn't enough. When you're getting 22, 23, it's like it sort of dilutes it a little bit, because there's that many. It then becomes less. Each race becomes slightly less important, if that makes sense, because you're sort of diluting it in a weird way. It gets to, like, to me, it sort of peaks at like 18, 20 races, and then beyond that, you're just like diluting the product a little bit. It's sort of a bit overkill. So, yeah, but money rules the game, doesn't it? Money rules the game, and if they can squeeze in another 3 races, they will do, innit? So, who am I to put a dampener on that? But anyway, so that's the schedule this weekend. So I'll be back for practice 2 at 10 to 2 this afternoon. And then we got practice 3, obviously 10 to 11 tomorrow, qualifying. We get into the real stuff tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. 10 to 2 will be live for that. And then the race, I'll be live at 12:30. The race starts 1 p.m. UK time. So even though it's a night race in Singapore, it's actually still like in European time. But next week in Japan, that's going to be evil. I will be the only person in the stream, especially in practice. That's going to be brutal. In practice in Japan, I mean, let me just get it up. I mean, I've got to look at this because it's going to be mad. Because the Japanese Grand Prix itself is going to be like 6 a.m. I reckon. Let me check. Next week's going to be peak, man. Next week I am going to be sat here on my own. Let me have a look. Singapore. Well, we don't want Singapore. We want the next one. Racing. Here we go. Japan. Yeah, brutal. Practice 1, 4 a.m. Practice 2, 7 a.m. Qualifying 7 a.m. Race 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Who's joining me 6 a.m. next Sunday for the Japanese Grand Prix? Not many, but I'll be here. I'll fucking never miss it. I'll never miss it. I'll be here for Friday. I'll be here Friday practice 1, 4 a.m. on a Friday morning, me. That's what it's all about. That's when you separate the people that love it to the people that like it. You know, Denver always says about the football, do you like it or do you love it? Well, the people that watch Friday practice 1 in Japan at 4 a.m, they're the people who love it. Like, you know, they're your hardcore. The people that watch Saturday practice 3 at like 3 a.m. on a Saturday morning, boom. They're your real drillers. So I'll be here for that. But anyway, this weekend is kind of a normal schedule. With a 25 race, yeah, exactly. They're giving everyone 2 weeks off. It's flipping mad, Kim. I mean, obviously you get like Christmas off in January, and then February testing starts. It's kind of all year round. I mean, you get like a summer break, and then they're off for like December. Yeah, December, January is pretty dead. But the thing is, at the factories, they're focusing on next year's car. So in the factories, it's never dead. In the factories, this is 20 foot. You know what I mean? There's no summer break and all that. Well, you get, you know, there's no winter break for the teams at base because they're working on next year's car. So anyway, that's a schedule. Right, I'll just go through the teams quickly. So yeah, we'll go from hopefully the mic should be working and all that. I'll be up for work at that time. Yeah, it'd be me and you, Chris, for Japan. Right. Hey, Chris, deal. Right, me and you for Japan. Yeah, because that's going to be an early one. But they're the ones I love in a way. They're the ones I love, like waking up 4 a.m. for like a practice session. It's sort of a bit mad, and I think that's why I love it. When it's the same for like Australia, that's like a 4 a.m. practice. Japan, there's only 2 or 3 races where you've got to commit like that. China as well, that's not been on the calendar for a few years, but China has practice sessions in the middle of the night and stuff. Yeah, they're the ones you got to commit yourself and go, right, am I into this or not? But yeah, look, practice starting in 15 minutes and it's looking beautiful. I think, in fact, FP1 and FP3 tomorrow morning are still in daylight. So I think FP2 will be at night Singapore time. But I think like FP1 is just like sort of late afternoon in Singapore. So it's actually daytime, which is a bit of a weird one. Because obviously when you get to qualifying in the race, that's at night under the floodlights. So, I don't know how much difference that makes, but yeah, we're going to be a daylight session. My prediction, right, we'll get to that. Right, anyway, let's run through these quick. I've waffled on enough. Right, let's get through these. So these are the results of everyone so far, going from the back of the grid to the front of the grid. So we start with Williams 10th in the Constructors' Championship, only 6 points. But as you can see, it doesn't really add up because, in fact, I'm a bit small there, aren't I? Am I a bit small there? I am, aren't I? I'm a bit small, aren't I? That'll do. Right. Yeah, so they've scored 6 points, but Albon's got 4. Latifi's got none. How does that make sense? Boom. Because last weekend they put Nick De Vries in because Alexander Albon, and we'll get onto that in a minute. Alexander Albon's not been well at all. So they put Nick De Vries in the car. P9, 2 points. And this has led to the decision that Nicholas Latifi will not continue with Williams next season. So it is Go Tifi's final 6 races in Formula 1. I can't see anyone else taking him on. It is Nicholas Latifi's final 6 races in Formula 1. And you can see why. Look at the form. I mean, the closest he's got to a point is what, P12 in the British Grand Prix? I think I'm right in saying. So yeah, he's had a pretty shocking season. Well, yeah, Alexander Albon. Now, this is an interesting one. He had, I think, appendicitis. He had an operation just before the Italian Grand Prix, and then he had complications in hospital. He was in intensive care with a respiratory failure. So he was in intensive care, Alexander Albon, 3 weeks ago. So he's been training. He's been on full recovery mode for 3 weeks. He's been training up, and what he's going to do, as far as I understand it, is he's going to do this practice session today. Now in 10 minutes, he's going to do this practice session and see how he feels. But I reckon if he's not up to it, because Singapore is the most physically demanding race as well, it's the toughest race for the drivers, and if he's not feeling it, I reckon De Vries will be on standby to step in for Alex Albon if he's not feeling up to it. But he's going to give it a go, and we'll see. So watch this space on Alexander Albon, because he's been, for a day or two, he was seriously ill. So, really strange one. Because, especially considering, like, these are, like, really top of the game athletes, for him to have like I think he reacted badly to some sort of medication or something. What time did Dougie go off? Oh, I think about 1:30 a.m. He faded, which I didn't mind, to be honest. I didn't want to be really on there till 5-6 a.m. last night anyway, so but anyway, that's Williams. So let's just whiz through the rest of the teams now, because that was the big one really, that Alexander Albon. We'll see if he races or not, see how he feels. But yeah, Aston Martin P9 in constructors with 25 points. It's a bit of a bad season. I mean, you check the results. They can get a point on the day. Perfect race, perfect strategy. They can scrape a point out of an event. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel's final Singapore Grand Prix, and this is the event that Sebastian Vettel won his final race at. So I think Vettel won the 2019 Singapore Grand Prix, and that'll go down as his last but not least victory. So it's been a good hunting ground for Vettel. I think Vettel's won the Singapore Grand Prix 5 times, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, there he is with his headband, looking like a 1970s tennis player is now Sebastian Vettel. Fucking, I don't know where he's going with that hairdo, but he's going somewhere with it. Right, P8 is AlphaTauri. They've got 33 points. Not been a great season for AlphaTauri. Now, I've been saying this every week for the past 9 months, but it's not been great. Will Pierre Gasly get that Alpine seat? I'd probably bet on yes. I'd probably bet on the announcement coming fairly soon. I would say in between, probably after Japan, before we get to US, Mexico, or Mexico, US, I'm not sure, but probably in between Japan and US, you'll probably get an announcement that'd be my guess, that you'll get an announcement that Gasly will get the Alpine seat, he'll switch over, and then AlphaTauri will be scrambling round. Do AlphaTauri go for Mick Schumacher next year? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see on that. But Yuki Tsunoda's been confirmed with the team for next year as well, a few days ago, so that's the big news there. Haas are P7 in constructors at the moment with 34 points. They've really dropped off. They had a great start to the season, especially Kevin Magnussen, but it's really dropped off. Not had points for a long time. Not had points since Austria? Yeah, not had points since Austria. So Haas really fallen off. Will Mick be in Formula 1 next season? I hope so. Ernesto's here. How we doing? Hey, I tell you what, you're up early, aren't you, Ernesto? It's 11 a.m. here. It must be flipping 4 a.m. or something. Welcome in, Ernesto, on his way to work, as usual. Do you think Ricciardo could replace Gasly at AlphaTauri? What, Ricciardo to AlphaTauri? That's random, that. That would be a random one. I don't think so. I think you're more likely to see Ricciardo in at Haas or in the sidelines, maybe. Anyway, we've got to get through these. Japan and USA, Midway Island. Yeah, in fact, Midway Island is exactly halfway between US and Japan. So get in. Right, that's the results for Haas. Alfa Romeo 6th in Constructors, 52 points. They scored 1 point in the last 8 or 9 races of Alfa Romeo. But another bit of news, Zhou Guanyu has been confirmed as carrying on as was predicted and was pretty obvious. Zhou Guanyu will be with Alfa Romeo for another year, so he's on for 2023. Wait, Jams are here. You're at in Jams, but is he even here? I don't know. Or is he at in Gav? Anyway, Gav's here. Right. That's Alfa Romeo. Yeah, they've not had a great season, have they? But same driver lineup for next year. McLaren. Now, up and down season for McLaren. They've come with a big upgrade package this weekend of McLaren. Not only a livery, which is pink and orange, which is, to my eyes, horrendous. Everyone's been like, look at the livery. All I've seen is pictures of that McLaren livery all over Twitter for the past few days. I'm thinking, on a design level, that's horrendous, isn't it? Orange and pink. I mean, you'll never see that colour combination anywhere else. But yeah, McLaren running with an orange and pink car this weekend. But design, philosophy, livery aside, they've come in with a brand new upgrade package as well, new side pods. More than that, but the side pods is the most obvious thing, because they really are blocky, quite basic looking side pods up until now. So McLaren with the big upgrade, and they need it because they've fallen to 5th in Constructors behind Alpine, who are having a great season. Look at the form of both of the drivers. They've been in the points nearly every single week. Both of them. They've had a really strong season. Obviously, Fernando Alonso jumping ship at the end of this year, which makes no sense to me. Fernando Alonso will join Aston Martin, who sit 9th in Constructors. So he's going from a team that are going to finish. It's like a player going it seems to me a massive downgrade, but obviously Aston Martin have offered Alonso the long-term contract and all the rest of it. So yeah, rhubarb and custard. Pink and orange is weird, man. Because rhubarb and custard is more like pink and yellow. Which would, I don't know, it'd kind of work. Would it work on a F1 car? Pink and yellow? Probably not, but orange and pink. I don't get it, me. If that design had to run through me before it got approved, I'd look at that and go, orange and pink. Just have a look at that again. No way would that get approved by me if I was part of that design team. I'd be like, you're having a laugh. Take the orange off. Go pink and black. Because the McLaren's got some raw black carbon fibre. I go, get the orange off for 1 week. Do pink and black. That works. But orange and pink, what are you doing? Right, anyway, whiz through the last few teams because practice is about to get underway in 3 or 4 minutes. Mercedes, I back them to win this weekend. I mean, I've just spoiled the predictions in one swoop. Welcome in, Barry. How we doing? How are we? Just in time for FP1. But yeah, Mercedes, I back them to have a strong weekend this weekend. It's more on hope rather than realistic. But we'll see how we go. They've been looking strong in a few races. And listen, look at the results. I mean, you can't deny they've got the absolute most out of the machinery that they've had. Even though Mercedes haven't produced a championship-winning car this season, the drivers have got the absolute maximum out of it. And the team has got the maximum out of that car that's been built. You know, whenever anyone slips up, which, cough cough Ferrari, whenever Ferrari slip up, Mercedes have been the one to pick up the big points this season. So they're a professional outfit and they'll come back stronger next year. But can they win a race before the season ends? We're running out of races now, 6 to go. And Mercedes haven't won this season, and Hamilton hasn't won this season, and it'll be the first season which he hasn't won. in his career if he doesn't. So he's running out of races, but maybe this is the weekend. I think it could be. Ferrari P2, absolute nightmare of a season considering the pace of the car. You see the results there. When was the last time they won a race? Austria? Nah. Ferrari have had an absolute nightmare, as we know. But yeah, it's kind of like dusk in Singapore. I think Singapore's one of them cities that's always cloudy because of the smog and the pollution, is it not? I feel like when we go to like the Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai, you never get like a clear day, a clear, crystal clear blue sky day in Shanghai is not a thing. And I feel like in Singapore as well, you don't really get that crystal clear blue. I might be chatting out my heart. I might be completely wrong, but I've never seen a crystal clear. It's always kind of heavy, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of bit of pollution knocking about. But yeah, that's Ferrari. Red Bull have walked away with it. In constructors as well. I mean, what's the points different? Red Bull 545 points. Ferrari, we're talking 150 points gap in the Constructors' Championship. So they're going to wrap up that soon. Max will probably win the Drivers' World Championship next weekend. He can do it this weekend mathematically, but he'd have to win the race. Leclerc would have to be outside the top 8. Perez would have to be outside the top 4. So it's unlikely that he wins the championship this weekend, but it's mathematically possible, which is crazy with 6 races to go. This season has been like a peak 2002 Michael Schumacher domination season, where Schumacher just went out and won every single race. It's literally been like that. It's Max Verstappen's 25th birthday. I didn't know that until I just seen that graphic up on screen there. Yeah, happy birthday, Max Verstappen, 25 today. So he's in the absolute prime of his career. He's won 5 races in a row. Look at that. I mean, he's won, I don't know what he's won, something like 12 out of 16 races, something like that. Unbelievable form. He's like a peak 2002 Michael Schumacher season where one driver's absolutely run away with it, and it's who's battling for second. And yeah, which is pretty mad. Hopefully next season will be a lot closer than this. Hopefully Ferrari can get himself together and Mercedes can get himself together and sort of put up a bit of a fight against this guy, because he's absolutely romping away with it. Can I talk to the orange off because of Gulf main sponsor? Yeah, probably. Yeah, but the orange of McLaren is the McLaren. It's not a sponsorship. Why they've got orange on the car. It's McLaren orange. It goes back to the heritage from like the 1960s. The orange. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen. But anyway, that's a livery thing. It's not really important, is it, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's the little rundown. Practice is about to get underway any second now, so I'll try and get the live timings and all that screen up in a sec. This is the standings as we've just been through. Yeah. Max Verstappen 335 points, Leclerc 219. I mean, unbelievable. Tuckers. Right. My predictions very quickly is this. I've not gone that mad this weekend. I've gone pretty normal. Gasly, Norris, Ocon, Alonso, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc. I've gone Mercedes P3. I've gone Verstappen P2 to be beaten by Lewis Hamilton. It's more out of hope than it is realistic. But yeah, FP1's underway. We've got some cars out on circuit. Let's get the headphones on. Let's get the right screens on. But yeah, that's my predictions this weekend. Whoa, there's already some carbon fibre on circuit. And the 2 Alfa Romeos are out there. Right, let's do it. Oh, it's been a long time since we've had cars on circuit, man. It's been like summer break, then a couple of races, then another break. But these 6 races now, I think it's like 2 races back to back, then a week off. 2 races back to back, week off. 2 races back to back, season done. So yeah, they're going to tick by pretty quick now, these last 6 races. Right, let me get the right screens on and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's the predictions. I'm going Mercedes for the big dub. Let's get that screen on. Let's launch the thing. Live timing. Hope this works. You never know. Hopefully you can hear me. Launch live timings. Let's see what. Let's hope this works. Why is the live chat? Oh, the live chat does work. Oh, we'll be doing all right there, my lads. Yeah, so it's kind of like dusk in Singapore. We've got 58 minutes. I'll try and get the timer going as well in a minute. Let's launch this. Let's launch this and see what it looks like. And then we'll try and get the timer on as well so we know how long's left in this session. Ferraris are out there as well. Charles Leclerc with the special edition golden Singapore helmet. Just like United. What? See at the start of the season. Oh, right. Yeah, see at the start of the season, Ferrari's hopes as well. Oh, they did. I mean, after Australia, after round 3, you know, I was saying... after the third race, Leclerc had won 2 out of the first 3, and I was thinking, this is Leclerc's championship. Is this live timer going to load? Oh, it is. It's decided it's going to load. Right. Let's have a look at this. I need to put the... I'm just going to bear with me whilst I mess about with what this looks like. This doesn't even look bad. It doesn't even look that bad, lads. So I'll be doing alright there. Right. I don't even have to mess with it that much. If it ain't broken. There we go. Something like that. That'll do. You can see all 20 drivers. So get in. Yeah, see how we go with that. See if that updates. Oh, no, you know why? I know why. Yeah. Let me just mess with it. That'll do, innit? DRS, wait there. Laps, there we go. There we go. That'll do the job. Hopefully that should automatically update now. So get in. Hopefully it's not that hard to see with the background. I know the background's a bit... we've gone for the colourful background this weekend. Because the last few races I've just had like a black background and then it's all just been like too much data on screen. And it looked... When I look back at the last couple of races that I've done, I was like, nah, it's not the one. I'm gonna inject some colour back in. So I was like, yeah, fireworks a full lot. Gotta inject some colour back into the stream. But right, let's see if we can get a timer on the go. Where's me old? Let me see if we can rig up a timer. Verstappen quickest in the first 5 minutes in a 1:47.3. But yeah, people are just basically, these is just like installation laps, you know, they're not really anything to look into. I will put 53 minutes on a timer. Right, let me start that. And how's that going to show up on the stream? Oh, it's there, look. Yeah, we've got Alexander Albon out on circuit now, and he is going to. I think this is a bit of a review of how he's been really ill, Alexander Albon. So I just wonder whether he will do this race. Obviously, he's doing this session. Going to see how he feels, because this is pretty. This is the toughest race on the calendar. We will see. Right. Right, so Alexander Albon had reaction to the anaesthetic after an appendix operation and had respiratory... I mean, that's a tongue twister. Failure. Horrendous. Right. Live timings are on. Let me move. I'll move that across to there. Right, we done it. We've got the timer up. We've got the live timings. Let's go. Everything. Yeah, we're doing all right there, Gav. Eh? It doesn't look too bad now, does it? The stream. Is there any grid penalties this weekend? Not that I've heard of so far. No. Although, with me doing my own little preview and rambling on about going through, I've not watched any of the build-up, and so they might have been saying that on Sky half an hour ago, but I don't think so. I've not heard of any grid penalties, and it would be you wouldn't take a voluntary grid penalty here because it's a street circuit and it's quite difficult to overtake. You wouldn't voluntarily take a grid penalty here. So it's unlikely that anyone's, unless someone crashes and then they've got to take a new gearbox, etc. Then obviously you get grid penalties. But there's been a hell of a lot of drivers have taken new engines and new components over the last couple of weeks. So I think the grid penalty thing is sort of done, because everyone took grid penalties at either Spa or Monza, pretty much the entire grid. So yeah, but we've rolled round to Singapore, and no, you don't be, put it this way, you don't be starting at the back in Singapore. You've got a long afternoon ahead of you if you're starting at the back round here. This is a lot of people's favourite race, this Singapore. I'm not really in that club. I do like it as a venue and as an event. It's really unique, and the circuit's really unique as well. I mean, Baku is probably the nearest comparison, but it's not really. This is on a different level in terms of, I think this is the most corners of the calendar. It's the most physically demanding. It's relentless. There's no long straights or anything. It's just relentless. It's the longest race as well. There's a few times that this race has ran to the 2-hour limit rather than to the 61 laps. We've got an issue on Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. Yeah, so Leclerc with an early problem in FP1. Car's in bits. And the team are standing guard in front of the car, so the photographers can't get a good shot of the internals of the front suspension. Chat 69, get in there, the late. Chris, your mate's in. Get rid of him. I'll have to log in and ban him myself. I have to literally log into chat. I can't even do anything. Which is kind of mad. No, Kim can't, innit? I'll have to meet one of you. One of you's a mod, innit? Gav or Kim. I'll have to, because I think I've only got Chris and Ernesto as mods, really. I think Sean's a mod, but Sean never comes in. I'll have to add a couple more people. I can't go for a booing piece. I'll have to share the responsibility, Chris. Nah, it's only for like accounts like that, innit, that come in every once a blue moon. He said, if you and Ernesto aren't here, it's peak, bro. I'll have to, because I think Sean's a mob, but he's never in. Oh, Russell's hit the wall. Oh, Russell's hit the wall, but he's managed to bang it in reverse. Right, this is another point, right, that Sky Sports never mentioned this, right? And I've mentioned this a few times. Because the nose is connected to the front wing this season, right? They never say this, and this is true, this. Because with these regulations, the nose and the front wing has become one. It's fused together, right? And it's made the whole front end of the car a lot more sturdy. That wasn't the aim. That wasn't the technical. That wasn't the objective. But the nose being fused into the front wing has made it a lot more robust, and so we have seen many incidents this season where a car has gone into a barrier at like 10 mile an hour, 15 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour, and got away with it without any damage, right? Whereas in previous seasons you had the nose and then you had two pillars, and then the front wing would be connected like that. So you had like the nose, two pillars, and then the front wing effectively glued on to the two pillars. So you had like a fork there and the front wing glued on. Now these would snap easily, right? So they'd hit the wall at 5 mile an hour. These two forks would snap and the front wing's off the car immediate. And you're talking £250,000 worth of damage, right? It like that with a 2 mile an hour crash, bang, $250,000 worth of damage, right? Because you had the nose, two forks, and the front wing like that glued on. It hit the wall at 5 mile an hour. These would snap, boom, front wing off, GG's. You've just spent $250,000, right? This year, that doesn't happen because it's like this. You've got the nose and the front wing glued on. So it's become a sturdy. They don't mention this. Nobody's mentioned this. But we've seen many cars in the barrier at slow speed. No damage. So, cost effective, thumbs up. Yeah, you see, look, they're checking out the nose of the car. It looks fine, mate. It's just on a sturdy thing. John wants to be a... Oh, no. Listen. You talk about him on a different stream. Kim, you might be right there. You might be right on that one. You might just be a bang on the money. Yeah, mod up Kim and Gav. I don't know if I can do it right now. I'll have to log in. Let me try and do it. There's not a lot else going on. I mean, I tell you what. You know what's on about that McLaren being orange and pink? It's orange, pink, and bright green at the minute. Because they are running brand new side pods, and they've covered Lando Norris side pod in Flovis paint because it is why is he banned? I mean, I didn't ban him, but I'm not changing the situation. Right, open web, open in browser. Right, let me try and log into the chat. I gotta log into my own chat. I can't even chat on my own chat. That's brutal. YouTube.com live chat. What the hell is this? Here we go. Oh, it's not even on my account. I can't even do it at the minute. I can't even do it. I can't even look. Why is the timer gone off? Oh, it is there. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, so McLaren as well with the upgrade. I'll on the mod thing. I'll do it in between the practice sessions because it's weird to try and log in on my own chat. It's like not doable. Go and pick up little legs in 50 minutes. Eh? Only been there since just after 10. First Perez, second Verstappen, Sainz. Is that your prediction for this weekend, is it, Gav? Perez, Verstappen, Sainz. Yeah, Perez is due a win, really. He won in Monaco, but since then he's sort of been off the boil. It's not been a fantastic season for Sergio Perez, has it really? I mean, he's done what's required in a way. You know, he's not been awful. He's done what's required. He's certainly done better than what Albon and Gasly did. But he's not really pushed Max, has he? He's pushed Max, once or twice this season. He's done enough. He's done what's required, but I would like to see Perez win another race before the season ends. I mean, you've got the Mexican Grand Prix coming up. Imagine if he wins that. That was absolute bedlam I think he finished second or third last year. I don't know whether it was second or third, but he finished on the podium last year, and the Mexican crowd, mate, his dad was in tears. Like, everyone they are proper fanatical over there, let me tell you. I know firsthand that they are fanatical about Perez in Mexico. He's one of the heroes of the country. So if he wins that one, that will be bedlam. Even if he's on the podium, it's bedlam. But yeah, 40 minutes to go, just over. So 20 minutes into the first practice session. We had a little bit of an incident with George Russell. He was in the wall at 10 mile an hour. But like I explained, he didn't damage the car. The front nose is still intact. Had this had been an incident last year, front wing would have been off, nose would have been wrecked, and all the rest of it. But he's gone back to the pits. They've put a bit of polish on. You know what I mean? They've put a bit of turtle wax on the front of that nose and carried on. So Russell's back out there, but apart from that, I think that's the only incident really. Leclerc is stuck in the pits with some kind of issue. But yeah, that's about all with the first 20 minutes. The crowd will be transported in green buses. Who? What crowd? This? What? Oh, you mean in Mexico? I know about them green buses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when we was on GeoGuessr and I seen that green bus in the middle of Guadalajara, well, boom, I was on it. I think I was within 3 miles. What a guess. The thing is, it's not a guess though, is it? When you know, you know what I mean? It's easy if you know the answer. Yeah, the Mexican crowd. Right, I sat back down. Right, all right, Chris. Ed in the game. We're back. Yeah, they're talking about who's going to get that second Williams seat, obviously with Latifi not carrying on. Right. Yeah, I think. I think it's got to be. Surely it's got to be Albon and De Vries next year for Williams. But they're talking about De Vries going to AlphaTauri, which, yeah, I think Albon De Vries is quite a good lineup, really. But could it be Sonoda De Vries at AlphaTauri? And then what, Williams get like Logan Sargent, who's an American kid in Formula 2? I don't know about that. Surely Williams' plan A now is to get Nick De Vries in full time. Surely. Talk about GeoGuessr who didn't get his own town city. Hey, I smashed it the other night on Chris. The reason I didn't get my own... We've been through this, Chris. The reason why on GeoGuessr it come up Manchester and I didn't get it is because I thought I was being clever and clicked London after 1 second. Because I was trying to beat Jamza, wasn't I was trying to put the pressure on, because what happens is, as soon as you guess on GeoGuessr, it gives a 15-second timer to the other guys, so then they're under pressure, so they might panic and make a mistake. So I saw the architecture and I was like, right, we're in the middle of a city, it's obviously a UK city, bang, London. And then Jamza started looking round, and he started going down the side streets, round the corner, down the road, round the corner, and I'm going, he's in Piccadilly Gardens. So I shot myself in the foot on that one, Chris. We all know. I shot myself in the foot on that night. But we did a bit of a GeoGuessr session the other night, a couple of nights ago. I smashed it. I had a guess in flipping Lesotho in South Africa. Well, Lesotho is a country within South Africa, right? I had a guess. It put you on a random dirt road, right? Bang! Slapped it on Lesotho. 4 miles away. 4 miles away. Mate, professional standard, that. I smashed it. I had a flawless victory against Jamza and Flabby G the other night. So I'm alright there, my lad. There was no timer on that one. No, there was. Oh, there might not have been. Oh, I don't know. Well, I clicked London trying to be a smart ass. Didn't work out. I think everyone's in the pit. Sky are on an ad break. I think everyone's in the pits apart from Ocon, Gasly, Russell. There's Leclerc out there now. Leclerc's name is lit up in white, which may mean he's out there. We're nearly halfway through this FP1 session. Don't Ocon and Gasly hate each other because of what happened in the karting days? Do you know what, Gav? I have heard about this. About Mick at Williams. Excuses. Yeah. What about Mick at Williams if De Vries ends up replacing Gasly? Yeah, I like that. I like that as a scenario. I'd take that, Gav. I'd take that. So I like that scenario. So Gasly to Alpine, De Vries to AlphaTauri, Mick to Williams, Ricciardo to Haas. I like that. That's possible. That's entirely possible. That Mick Schumacher at Williams, Albon Schumacher. I like that. In fact, they're two of my favourite drivers, to be honest. My favourite drivers really is sort of Schumacher, Russell, Albon. Really. I'd say they're my favourite three. Schumacher, Albon, Russell. Yeah. Quite Magnussen as well. He's good. I don't know. I go more of a sort of a personality-wise. Vettel I like, but he's retiring. Alonso as well. He's one of my favourite. Yeah, Alonso. But yeah, Albon Schumacher at Williams, I would rate that. I would be if that's the lineup at Williams next season. I'm a Williams fan. That's a guarantee. I'll be sat here, Williams kit. If they have a team of Albon Schumacher at Williams, I'm full Williams. I'm no longer neutral. Because that'll be a team and half that. But I don't know. I can see a scenario where Mick's not in this game next year. I'll be gutted. But I just there isn't even that much rumours about Mick, like switching teams, or or there's no rumour of like, oh, Mick might stay at Haas, or I feel like it's just fizzling out for Mick, which is Antonio Giovinazzi with the big haircut, nearly as big as mine. Yeah, I just feel like it's fizzling out for Mick. It's such a shame. Maybe we'll see him in like Formula E or flipping sports cars or something, which is a massive shame. I hope he gets a seat for next year, but it's not looking that good, to be honest. It is, yeah, it has been cold, hasn't it, Kim? The last like 3 or 4 days, the temperature has dropped. All of a sudden, we've gone from like a late summer, 17 degrees, 19 degrees, and all of a sudden, about 3 days ago, it went bang. How do you fancy 7 degrees? It has dropped, hasn't it, Kim? Right now, watching FP1 live on the Hometown TV channel. Get in. Oh yeah, you're in Singapore, aren't you? Which would only broadcast when it's Singapore GP. Yeah, SHT. Welcome in. Going to the track tomorrow. Yeah, you're in Singapore. Interesting fact that I saw on TikTok of all places is that Singapore, on average, has got the highest IQ in the world. The Singapore population has got the highest IQ on average in the world. Yeah, I think America is down there at the bottom. No, I don't think it is. I'm just taking the mic, but Singapore is number one, is the smartest country in the world. So get in, SHT. That McLaren with the pink lips on the front. It's like he's got an orange nose with pink lips. That McLaren. What a strange livery that is. But that's sick, that SHT. You're going to the track tomorrow. That's mint, that. I've never been to a street race. Only been to the British Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix. I've not been to a street race. I'd love to go to like, yeah, Singapore or Baku or not Monaco. I'm not really bothered about Monaco. But yeah, Singapore, Baku, I'd love to go. Get right up close. No comment of what? 7 degrees, yeah. I know, Kim, it's been real, hasn't it? Also, the guy just mentioned that with the big air. The big air. Yeah, Antonio Giovinazzi. Well, Crofty always says Giovinazzi. I mean, not that this really matters, but Crofty always goes with Giovinazzi, but it's spelt Giovinazzi. But maybe in native Italian, it is Antonio Giovinazzi. But the thing is with Giovinazzi, right? I think he's had a go though. I don't understand why he's like tipped to return. I don't understand that. It's like for all intents and purposes, like, I'm not having a go, but Giovinazzi was anonymous. I don't even know how many years did Giovinazzi do. I think Giovinazzi raced in F1 from like 2016 to like 21 or 17 to 21, either 16 or 17 to 20. So he's had a good 4 or 5 years. So he's had a go. And what's his standout? Like, you know, you have like let's say like a compilation of highlights, right? So this is a popular thing with footballers, isn't it? You can type them in on YouTube and go, right, you know, whatever, Mbappe highlights or whatever you want, right? Imagine Giovinazzi highlights. What? What's going to come up? And you've got to have that. You've got to have, I've said this before, to be in Formula One long term, you've got to have moments of magic. You've got to have a bit of magic where something that shouldn't happen, you do it. Like Vettel winning the Italian Grand Prix in a Toro Rosso. Or like, yeah, that's one example of a little bit of magic. You know, multiple drivers, just the drivers that are in this game long term and make a full career out of this have magic moments where you go, how the hell has he done that? Even Lando Norris does it. You know, Lando Norris, like, sticking it on pole position in Imola and stuff like that. And you think, yes. Antonio Giovinazzi wasn't magic. You know what I mean? Even Lance Stroll's had magic moments. I remember Lance Stroll getting a front row in Monza a few years ago in the rain and thinking, bang, there's a magic moment. So that's why I always think Lance Stroll sort of deserves his spot, really. But Giovinazzi, man, anonymous. Yeah, pink lips and orange nose. Kim, that McLaren, trust me, pink lips, orange nose. What you saying? Smash or pass, Kim? Smash or pass? Orange nose, pink lips. It is the first time Tsunoda, Schumacher, Latifi, and obviously Zero racing in Singapore track. Yeah, it is SHT. Yeah, because obviously there's not been a race since 2019 round here with COVID and all the rest of it. So there is a few drivers the first time. Yeah, Schumacher's not raced here. Tsunoda, Latifi. Mad that Latifi's never raced here. It feels like Latifi's been in Formula 1 like 4 years. But he's in his 3rd year, isn't he? But yeah, weird that Latifi's never driven here. Obviously Joe as well, yeah. You're going to crash into the wall and the straight will come up. Who's that? Well, yeah, Gav, what Giovinazzi? I mean, I can't really think of an outstanding Giovinazzi moment. You know what I mean? And you've got to be outstanding, I feel. Now, surely, I mean, this is the absolute pinnacle. This is the absolute creme de la creme of motorsport. You've got to be almost... You've got to produce moments that wow people. So, yeah. So I don't get why Giovinazzi's in the conversation, to be honest. Maybe it might just be like a safe option. They know that he's got the experience. He's driven these cars before. The thing is as well, like Nico Hulkenberg's on the radar again. He's another one. He's had his go, man. Nico Hulkenberg had 8 or 9 years. You know, Nico Hulkenberg had nearly a decade. He's had his go, man. I say let someone else have a go. I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't like to see Giovinazzi or Hulkenberg on the grid next season. I feel like that would be a bit like... whatever face this is, this would be my reaction if Giovinazzi or Hülkenberg are on the grid next year. Really? Really? It's not outrage, but it's not. It's just no. They've had a go. Sainz nearly at the wall then. Wow, and the exit of turn 5. Wow. We're going to see a replay on board with Carlos Sainz there. That was almost in the wall. I think, is that music? That music's been on the whole stream on it. I hope it's not been too overpowering. Wow, Sainz with the... Yeah, look at that. Whoa, the car's bouncing all over the... That's so close to the wall. I had a moment, says Carlos Sainz. He almost binned it on the exit of turn 5 there. The car was bouncing all over the circuit going through the apex. Hello world. Hello boss. Welcome in. Any Max Verstappen fans on? Don't know. Max Verstappen would tie with Fernando Alonso with 6 most all-time races. Oh, 32. Wow. 32 race wins. Yeah, Verstappen on an absolute... We could be in a situation where Verstappen wins each and every race this season. Each and every single race between now and the end. I think that'll break the record as well. I think I saw a stat a few days ago about who's got the most race wins in one season. I don't know whether it's Vettel on 13 wins in a season. I think it might be Vettel. Oh, we've got an Aston Martin with a puncture. Yeah, something's been in the wall. I think Lance Stroll has slapped the wall on the exit of turn 5 because he is grinding to a halt with the rear axle broken and a rear... What is that? A rear left puncture. Right, he's gonna have to... Yeah, so Stroll's been in the wall at some point. Verstappen, rapid sector 1 and 2 is purple for both sectors. 20 minutes to go in FP1. Verstappen's going to smash the time and goes a 43.1. 7/10 of a second quicker than teammate Sergio Perez. I've not even looked at the timing board yet. I mean, it's a bit irrelevant in FP1, but it is. Verstappen, Perez, Ocon, Stroll, Alonso, Vettel. Interestingly, both Aston Martins in the top 6 early on. And it is a red flag. It is a red flag with Lance Stroll stopped out on circuit. Although he has pulled off to the side, though. He's not on the racing line, I don't think. But yeah, they've red flagged it. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I think Vettel has got the most race wins within a season. It's either Vettel or Schumacher, I think. Or no, Hamilton must be up there as well. But I think they've only had 11 race wins in a season, I think, Lewis. But I think Vettel's had 13 wins in a season. Oh, as we see the replay of Lance Stroll at turn 5, it is like Carlos Sainz's moment. Yeah, bit of understeer and bang, the rear end just steps out as he gets on the power of the exit of turn 5 and bang. It does seem bumpy there. It does seem bumpy there, and he has a... It does seem bumpy there. Bang. Stroll in the wall then in FP1. Red flag. Yeah, 11 wins. Yeah, that's it. 11 wins out of 19 is the... Cheers, Ernesto. Thanks for popping in. I know you're a busy man. Thanks for popping in. And I'll be back on in a few hours anyway for FP2. 2 PM UK time. For FP2. If you can make it in for that. If not, I'll be back on tomorrow. But yeah, 18 minutes to go. we've got a red flag with Stroll stopping out on circuit. They're going to go to an ad break. But yeah, we've had a couple of little incidents then. So we've had Russell in the wall at like 5 mile an hour, but he got away with it. But Lance Stroll has binned it. But yeah, what I was saying was, so Vettel with the 13 wins in a season. Was it 13? 11 wins. No, who's got 13? I'm sure someone's got 13 wins in a season. It might be Schumacher then. I think the record is 13 wins in a season. Max can break that. Max will break that record. By the end of this year, Max Verstappen will break the record for most wins in a season, which is mad. But it's also a little bit... It's not a fair test, because there's more races now than there was. Like, in Schumacher's day, there would have been 16 races in a season, 50, a calendar would have consisted of 16 races-ish. So, you can't win 17 races in a 16 race calendar, can you? So, you know what I mean? There's a limit to it. But, Verstappen, what's it going to be? 22 races. Verstappen will probably end up with, 16 wins or something like that? 16, 17 wins out of 22, which is mad. Red flag, because Lance Stroll's hit the wall on the exit of turn 5. Yeah, Ackerman, welcome in. Ackerman. Welcome to the stream. Stroll bins into the wall. Yeah, he has binned it. Have they gone to a yellow flag? Are they going to get it underway again? I don't know why. I don't know why they've put yellow flag on the graphics, but it is a red flag while they get his car out of the way, and then Stroll Carlos Sainz nearly crashed as well on the same corner. It seems bumpy there at turn 5. Quick right-hander. And it seems to be bumpy, and it's unsettling the cars as they go round. And Lance Stroll with the understeer, and then as soon as he got on the power, boom, the back end stepped out. Twitch of oversteer, and that's all it took. Slapped the rear left wheel into the wall and broke. He's broken something, a suspension arm or something or other, and he stopped out on circuit, so they've had to throw the red flag with 15 minutes to go in the session. I tell you what, they're advertising cruise ships, right? They're advertising cruises on Sky, yeah? They're going to be a thing of the past, I tell you now. I read something that a cruise ship pumps out as much pollution as 40 million cars. Greta is going to be all over that game. Cruise ships are not going to know. When Generation Z is in power in about 15 years, cruise ships, mate, going to have the big cancel. Trust me. Cruise ships are going to be on a big cancel. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. But yeah, floating A&E, yeah, Kim, but it's the amount of CO2 pollution that they pump out is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think I read a stat, Kim, right, that said it was something along the lines, it's not exactly this, right, but it's something along the lines of the biggest 15 cruise ships in the world, so your big P&O, like massive situations, the biggest 15 cruise ships in the world pump out more pollution than all the cars in the world. They are going to be cancelled, trust me. If you want to go on a cruise, I'd do it in the next few years, because once Greta and her team get onto that, they're gonna hit the big delete on cruise ships. Trust me. Or they'll have to do another way of powering them. You can't be powering them with 1,000,000 tons of diesel. No. Anyway. That's a fucking. We're going on a flipping. I'm going on a flipping pollution ramble. But that is the biggest thing. If they just deleted cruise ships now, I mean, you're seriously clearing up a hell of a lot of. Anyway, it is what it is. Go on a rowing boat. This is it, Chris. Manpower. Have you tried the F1 Manager game? No, I haven't, Gav. It's not for me, that. Yeah, I'm sort of half listening to Ted Kravitz because he's the OG. He's the best pundit in the world, in my opinion, Ted Kravitz, and he's just talking about the cost cap in Formula One. So you can't just have unlimited spending. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, F1 Manager game. It's not my cup of tea, that, Gav. I'd probably, if I had the F1 Manager game, I'd probably love it for a week. And I'd probably play it, and I'd play through like multiple seasons, and I'd be like all over it. Strategy, everything, I'd be all over it. And then after a week, it'd be dead. And I think I've just spent 60 quid on a game that's I'm no longer going to touch. So nah, I think it'd get boring pretty quickly. Yeah. And if you look at like the big streamers, like the big F1 streamers that stream like F1 games and that, they did F1 Manager, right? And then the first day it got massive views. Millions of views, right? F1 Manager, the day it come out. Now, if they streamed it now, no one's interested anymore. No one's interested. It was interesting for about a week. I used to watch The Love Boat. Oh, my mum's well into that series called Below Deck. Has anyone else seen Below Deck? But they're not cruise ships. They're like yachts that you can rent out if you're like a multi-millionaire. You rent a yacht for the week, and then there's a series called Below Deck that follow the crew. Anyway, that's a different tangent. We get on full commentary mode anyway. We're in the qualifying's on. There's not a lot to. You know what I mean? You can't really do commentary for practice because it's like Norris right behind Sainz, putting the pressure on now into turn 22. I mean, Sainz was nearly in the wall again a minute ago. To be fair, that was something to talk about. Sainz lost the rear of the car in the final corner and nearly binned it in the wall again. So that Ferrari not looking very stable. Spot Alonso since starting in Formula 1. Yeah, Alonso 350 Grand Prix. I used to be an Alonso fan as well back in the day. But I sort of switch and it's not like football, is it? Where I'm sort of fluid, really. Yeah, I used to, you know, when Alonso Ferrari days. Yeah, mate, Fernando was a beast. He still is, but he was an alien back in them days. I saw a screenshot from 2010 where it was like Alonso leading the championship, but Ferrari were fourth in constructors. I saw a screenshot, right, and it was Alonso was on 121 points, and his teammate Massa was on 11 points. 121 points to 11. What Fernando did in that Ferrari 12 years ago was unbelievable. I mean, Massa was probably underperforming. So the real performance of the car was probably somewhere in the middle. But to lead the championship in the fourth fastest car, that's it. What Fernando Alonso did in like 2010, 12 is like the equivalent of like Ocon leading the championship now. That's what he used to do. It's like the equivalent of Ocon in the Alpine leading the championship now with 6 to go. Like, just a bull. Like, how? Just mind blowing. It was nuts. 2012, yeah, 2012. Oh my God, Chris, the back. Chris. Hey, they've actually changed it, haven't they? Where when someone gets banned now, it completely deletes them. It doesn't come up like. Do you know what I mean? They've changed it. They've changed when someone gets banned now from any channel, it completely removes them. Whereas before it used to have the name and then it just used to come up message deleted underneath. But now it's an elimination. And I reckon that's come about because people were making their actual names as like, so people were making YouTube accounts where the name of it was like offensive. So then they wouldn't even have to type an offensive message. The name of the channel, bang, was something offensive. And then even if they got banned, it would just say, it would still be with the offensive message with just message deleted underneath. So now YouTube have gone, you know what, bang, full elimination. So yeah, just something that I've noticed over the last few days. Oh. Oh, Verstappen in neutral in the pit lane. What's this? Magnetic bridge under. They're talking about something on Sky Sports right now that I've never heard of. What the hell is this? On Sky, they're talking about magnetic field interference on the Red Bull. I have never felt more out of my depth in all my life. Magnetic field interference on the Red Bull. From like an underground subway system underneath, affects the gearbox of the Red Bull, apparently. I have never heard of that. I've never heard of that before. And it's put Max Verstappen's car in neutral, maybe. That's what they're saying. I mean, magnetic field interruption. Oh, but back to the live action. And Lewis Hamilton, with 5 minutes to go, goes quickest on a 43 flat. Let's go. I'm not a Hamilton fan, but I'm an entertainment fan. And a quick Mercedes is what we want. Let's go. Game on this season. The game on this weekend. Game on this weekend. Bang. Mercedes are quick. Let's go. Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, top 3. Let's go. And listen, Hamilton, Verstappen separated by 84 thousandths of a second. Right, boom, game on. Mercedes are quick. Yellow flag, sector 3. And Verstappen's spun. What's going on? Verstappen's spun. EMP surge. I mean, that's like something out of Call of Duty, isn't it? EMP surge. There used to be a kill streak in Call of Duty that was EMP, wasn't it? It used to take out everyone's electronics. I don't. But they're talking about it on Sky Sports, right? This magnetic field interruption, as if it's like a common thing. Oh yeah, the old Singapore. They're talking about it like, oh yeah, the old Singapore magnetic field situation. I'm thinking, what? Never heard of this. Oh yeah, it's the old Singapore magnetic field interruption on the Red Bull gearbox. You know, we've all heard of that. What? Anyway, there might not be a thing. Anyway, they were just speculating as to why Verstappen was in neutral in the pit lane. I do not know if that's legit or not. It feels like it's not legit, but Landon not performing. He's stuck an N on the end of that name. But you are right. No, Lando is 3.6 seconds off the pace, which is weird considering Lando Norris has got the upgrade package. McLaren bringing a big upgrade package for this race, not only a livery update, but a big upgrade package, and it's only on Lando Norris's car for this weekend. I think Ricciardo will get it in Japan, but it's only on Norris's car for this weekend. And interestingly, Norris is a second slower than Ricciardo, and Norris is supposed to have the latest, greatest upgrade. So work that one out. I don't know if Norris has had problems, whether he's just been doing like installation laps. I don't know. We'll have to see in FP2. We're on to the last 2.5 minutes of FP1 anyway. And it is Hamilton, P1 from Verstappen. 84 thousandths of a second is the gap. Then it's 4 tenths to Leclerc in third. Another 4 tenths to Perez in fourth. And then you've got Russell P5 a second off the pace. Sainz is 6, 1.1 off the pace. And then it's an absolute chasm. Then you've got Esteban Ocon P7, but he's 1.7 seconds off the pace. Not really in the conversation. You've got Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Alonso, top 10. 2 minutes to go. Didn't that happen to Mercedes well once this track as well, Rob? Remember losing Nico? What, the old magnetic field? I'll be honest with you, Gav, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of it. I mean, maybe I have heard of it and I've forgotten about it. I've either heard of it and forgotten about it or never heard of it. 'Cause that is something... They were saying that the underground railway system affects the Red Bull, like, and they had to put shrouding around the gearbox or something to like not get magnetic interference. That is wild. But Zhou Guan Yu rocking a special edition crash helmet as well this weekend. In fact, this was back in the Sebastian Vettel peak crash helmet days. He used to run lights in his helmet round here. I remember. They don't have that anymore. People do it. This is not a thing anymore. He used to have flashing lights, looking like stars on his crash helmet. They don't do that anymore. But Zhou Guan Yu with a bright pink. And the sun has now... the sun has set now in Singapore and it's turned into a night race. Singapore Flyer. Hiya, Shirlene. We had a couple of drinks last night, didn't we, Shirlene? Hey? Have a good day at work. We had a couple of drinks with the lads. But yeah, thanks for popping in, Shirlene. Drop us a like, would you? Hey, yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, please do drop me a like. Obviously, it's been an early one. It's been a morning practice session, which is a bit of on the unusual side, so not that many in, but appreciate everyone that's watched. That's the end of FP1. They're just going to finish. Everyone's finishing the laps now, crossing the line, but it is going to be Hamilton from Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton is quickest in Friday practice 1. That's not a sentence that I've been able to say a lot this season, but it is. Mercedes looking good. Mercedes are looking good. They're just talking about Alexander Albon. I wonder if Albon will carry on. So Albon did 19 laps. So we'll see. We'll see. What's going on? Yeah, FP1 coverage. Yeah. So we'll see if Albon could, see if he's well enough to carry on with the rest of the weekend. He'll know now, Alexander Albon, if he's capable. He was ill. He was seriously ill. A couple of weeks ago was Alexander Albon, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining me for FP1. It's Hamilton from Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Russell, Sainz, Ocon, Stroll, Gasly, Alonso, top 10. And it's looking competitive. 84 thousandths of a second between Hamilton and Verstappen. 2021 settings, anybody? 2021 settings. Right. I'll be back 10 to 2. Just get the schedule on. Yeah, I'll be back at 10 to 2 for practice 2. So please do join me then in a couple of hours for FP2, and then obviously be live again for qualifying. Well, for practice 3 as well tomorrow morning. Then qualifying tomorrow afternoon and the race. So join me. Subscribe if you are a Formula 1 fan. Live for every single qualifying and race. And please do drop me a like, guys. Thanks for joining. We have a bit of a chat, don't we, on a Friday on a practice 1. We have a bit of a chat and a chill, and it's more of a chilled vibe, and I like it. And good having a chat with everyone. Even if I do waffle on, I suppose it's better than me sat here in silence, isn't it? But right, guys, see you in a couple of hours. I'll get the music on. Next stream in the chat. Oh yeah, my next stream, and there might be a couple more mods coming on, so that Chris isn't under pressure halfway through a bathroom break. Alright, guys. See you in a couple of hours for FP2. Oh my god, look how glitchy that is. Oh my god, that graphic is so glitchy. Oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is.